Welcome back to another week here on Eye of the Storm, a Guelph Storm podcast with myself, Ryan Drury, the voice of your Guelph Storm on Rogers TV. And we're very pleased to be joined by another new face in the Royal City, a second-round pick from the OHL priority selection in 2024, Mr. Carter Stevens. Carter, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well, and we're really excited to have you in the fold here in Guelph. I guess first things first, camp is wrapping up, the regular season coming up here. How is camp? How has your experience been so far, experiencing OHL camp for the first time and ramping up for a regular season?
Yeah, it was great to come down and see all the my new teammates and get to meet all the coaching staff and everyone. It went well. The camp got to do a lot of things on the ice and off the ice and just learn what it's like to play in the OHL. And I look forward to the coming season, and I can't wait to get started here.
Well, we're excited. I mean, the only game that we covered in the preseason was against Oshawa. You scored a really nice goal. You had some great moments in that game and could have scored another one as well. And you definitely are an offensive player. And, what do you remember about growing up and kind of refining your game a little bit? I know you're an Ottawa kid. What do you remember about growing up and the impact that growing up in that city had on you?
Yeah, I'm actually just from a small town outside Ottawa, so the outdoor rinks are huge. I had one in my backyard, and my dad, we'd go through like just small area stuff. So I think that helps me into my game. It's just good in the tight areas and able to find my way out of small areas and go from there.
What's the community you're from? Give the hometown a shout out here.
Almont, Ontario.
There you
It's
go.
yeah, shout out to Almont.
Shout out Elmon, 100%. Well,
Yeah.
I want to take you back to draft day. Obviously, I mentioned you're a second round pick of the Storm this year. Take us back to that moment. I'm sure it was very exciting for you and your family to hear your name called and have Mr. Burnett give you a phone call and tell you you're going to be a member of the Guelph Storm. What was that night like?
Yeah, it was so surreal. I was just so excited. I didn't know what the night was going to be like, but it couldn't have gone better. I had family over, grandparents, parents, aunt and uncles, friends and everyone over watching it with me, so it couldn't have been better. And when I got the call from George, I couldn't have been more excited.
Obviously from the area you grew up in, I'm sure you took in the odd Senators game as a kid and probably some 67s games too. You'd be well familiar with the league. What do you remember about, going to games as a kid and thinking, man, I'd love to do that someday?
Yeah, I was a huge Sens fan, and my mom actually used to run one of the restaurants at the Canadian Tire Center, so I would always go to most of the games and just being around, seeing what they do every day, and being able to make a living off something I love is just a dream that I want to have someday.
Okay, so you grew up a Sens fan, which makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah,
Rattle
big
rattle
Sens
off
fan.
some rattle off some favorite players for me. I'm sure I could guess a few. Who are some guys that inspired you?
I actually used to really like Bobby Ryan. Way back, I guess Daniel Alfredsson was a huge Ottawa guy. And then recently I like just Brady Tkachuk, the leadership and how he plays, just dirty areas, and who wouldn't want to have him on your team. So I look up to him pretty good too. So yeah.
Oh, hey, not bad guys to look up to. I remember watching all those guys and continuing to watch Kachuk and what him and his brother are up to. They're just
Oh
driving people
yeah.
crazy in the NHL.
Yeah.
And you have a bit of that in your game too. Like you're not the biggest guy, but I noticed it when we watched you out there. Like you don't shy away from the contact. Like you brought up the dirty areas and the tight zones that you work in. You're not afraid to stick your nose in there. I mean, where did that kind of come from, that aggressiveness that you show out there on the ice?
Yeah, just ever since I was a younger kid, I just hated losing, and I always just want to get in the other team's face and stick up for myself. So yeah, I used to billet kids from the junior A team where I'm from. So when we get into our mini stick games, I'd always stick up for myself, even just when I was little. So yeah, I think that translates into the game, and yeah, just trying to do what I can for the team.
Yeah, a couple sharp elbows here and there in a mini sticks game will
Yeah.
do, that'll do you wonders. Yeah, we all did it.
Yeah.
I'm curious, growing up, who are some big figures in your life when we're talking about hockey? Obviously, I'm sure you know your family, like you mentioned, but alongside them, who are some big figures along your journey here so far that you look back on and say, "Hey, that person had a real impact on my hockey journey"?
Yeah, obviously I say my parents just because how much they support me, but I think my papa, he's a huge sports fan and he used to coach hockey at a high level. I think the youth sports with the Ravens or the GGs, I forget which one, but one of those. And just him, like the impact he has on me, and I just want to do good for him because he's a really big part in my life. And yeah, I would just want to see how happy he'd be if I was able to, since he's been happy since I made this level, but even another step to the NHL, would be my goal to see how happy he'd be. And yeah.
Well, you know, you mentioned obviously dreams and aspirations going to the NHL, maybe play for your Senators someday. You never know. I wonder on your way up, you know, I know you spent a lot of time playing for the Ottawa Valley Titans program. You even got into a game or two last year with the U18 team, scored a goal. You know, on your way up as you made your way through the different levels of minor hockey, when did you start to kind of realize that you had maybe a little more talent than some of your peers and that you could make the OHL someday?
Yeah, ever since I was little, I just think my mind, my hockey sense is what made me a step ahead of every other kid. Like obviously I try to work on my skills as much as I can, but I think just having that hockey sense just puts me another step above everyone, and that's what's really helped me ever since a young age, and I think it's helping and translating into the OHL.
Well, we certainly got glimpses of that in the game we watched you in the other preseason games. You certainly have a nose for the net and know how to get to those dirty areas to score. What was camp like, you know, coming in with a bunch of OHL veterans, some rookies alongside you? We talked to Alex McLean recently, and you know, we're kind of picking his brain about the experience. But you walk into a room with a guy like Jet Luchenko, Jake Carabella, Max Nemesnikov, who's a smaller guy like yourself and has had great success. What was it like for you coming into that room and kind of picking those guys' brains a little bit?
Yeah, it's just also again so surreal. Like I used to go and watch the games and dream to be these guys, and now I'm with them. So I just gotta learn as much as I can from them, and the little things they do to be a better hockey player is just very huge. So I want to see what they can do and watch them in practice and watch them in video and everything, so I can make myself a better player as well.
You know, speaking of, you know, becoming a better player, a big part of that obviously is coaching, especially at this level. And Guelph has a new coaching staff this year, led, of course, by Corey Stillman. And he's a guy that's had a lot of success at every level he's played at, multiple Stanley Cup winner. Definitely a pro style coach that you guys are getting to work with. What's your experience been like so far with Corey and his staff?
Oh, it's been great so far. Like you said, he's been successful everywhere he's been, and you can just tell how professional he is, and he knows how it is to be at the next level. So it's good for him to he can show us how it is to be at the next level, and it's great to kind of follow his teachings and everything. He knows everything about the game, and yeah, he's the perfect coach to have, and I'm really looking forward to continue working with him and the staff.
You know, before you became a member of the Guelph Storm, obviously you'd have been familiar with the franchise, having one very close to home, obviously. And the 67s and Storm have had some epic battles over the years, too. You know, when you got drafted here, what was your reaction? Because, I mean, this is a franchise that has had a lot of success, turned a lot of players into NHL players and pros in other parts of the world. You know, I'm sure it was exciting for you to know that you were going to come to a place that's so well run and where the fan base really, really cares about the game.
Yeah, it was so important to me and my family to come to this organization. It's just a championship organization, and yeah, and the fans are great. Even just already it's only been a month or two, and I've already noticed just going through Guelph, you can see how high the fans are on the team, and that's what you want as a player, to know you have support from everyone and focus just on the ice.
What sort of things, you know, about the city? I know the focus obviously been on camp and making the team, but have you been able to experience much of the city yet? And if so, what are some of your favorite parts of it?
I haven't really been able to experience much, but we've gone out a couple times to restaurants and just everyone seems so nice and so high on us, and I think that's important to us is we're role models, and I think that we need us to kind of push ourselves to be better. And yeah, just everyone in town seems to support us, and it makes us want to go to the rink every day and show them that what we can do. And yeah.
I mentioned obviously you were a part of the Ottawa Valley Titans program, and in your draft year, you had an excellent season 27 games. You had 43 points, 18 of those were goals. And then you went to the OHL Cup and had 8 points in 4 games there. You know, when you're experiencing that and, playing at a high level in a program like that, what sort of things do you reflect back on when it comes to the Titans that made that program so special to help you get to this level?
Yeah, the main thing I think of is just teamwork, and like we were a family. Like we overcame so much adversity. No one thought highly of us all year long, and we just were able to keep going, not listening to what people say about us. And I thought we worked together as a team, and yeah, and we were able to make our goal to make the OHL Cup. Yeah, we fell short of the HEO championship. We lost in Game 7, but even to make it there, we were so proud, and I was so proud of our guys and our coaching staff and everyone. I'll never forget that team, and yeah, I hope everyone's doing well on their journey to juniors and everything. And I look forward to seeing them when I come back in the summer. And yeah.
Obviously, you love your hometown and the area you're from, and growing up a Senators fan, it's a franchise that's had a lot of ups and downs, and now they're going to get a new arena, which is really exciting for everybody. Tell us a little bit about the hockey culture in that area, because everybody likes to talk about Toronto and the GTA, and they say it's the center of the hockey universe, but it really is a game that's loved across the country. What's special about the hockey culture where you come from, Carter?
Yeah, I think well, especially in my little town, just everyone knows everyone, and it's such a tight place, like, and everyone's so high on not even just the Sens, but the junior hockey around the area. It's a really big thing. Everyone loves going out to support them. So yeah, I think everyone just loves supporting their small area teams. And yeah, when it comes to the Sens, I remember going to the playoff games in the 2017 run they had there, and just one of the best times of my life. Just so fun in the stands. Everyone seems like they're best friends in the stands, even if you don't know them. And yeah, those were the days. Hopefully, it can come back to that. And yeah,
I think it will. They got a pretty good looking team this year. We'll see how they do.
yeah.
And you guys have a good looking team too with the Storm. And I wonder just, a little bit more on a personal level. I've asked a lot of your teammates this in the first season of the show, and it's interesting to see the different answers. Hockey players are, very different guys, and some are very superstitious, some aren't. Would you put yourself in that category? Would you say you're a superstitious guy? And are you very particular about your equipment, things like that?
Not at all. I'm one of the guys that just tries to stay as loose as I can before the games. I'm not too picky. I tape my sticks and get dressed. I don't get dressed in a certain order. I sort of just do a nice warm up, try to stay loose, try to get ready for the game, and yeah, nothing at all that puts me in the superstitious column.
Awesome. I love it. All business. I like that. Are you particular about the way you take care of your stick?
Uh, Honestly, I just do the classic heel to toe, uh, white tape normally, unless last year I got into a couple slumps, so I switched it around. That's probably the most superstitious I am. Maybe if it's not going right, I'll just switch the color of the tape. But even so, I'm not too picky at all. And yeah, just try to get ready for the game, and sometimes may joke around and just try to stay light and heavy and light and happy before the game.
No, it's good to hear. We're excited to see this. I want to ask you specifically the skates that you're using and your stick. Tell me about your lie, your curve, your flex. What kind of setup are you rocking with?
A P28 75 flex. I use the CCM FT7 Pro. Some of the guys are making fun of me because I got red sticks, but I thought it fit the team well, so I like that. And then skates, I normally use Bauer Mox, but I actually blocked a shot in the summer and my toe fell off. So I'm just using Power 3S Pros, waiting for my mocks to come in. So I'll get back to
Nice.
those when I'm they come in.
Yeah, the mocks, they've become really, really popular for sure. A lot of guys are using
Yeah.
those now. I'm interested too. I always like to ask guys, their pre-game routines, and a big part of that obviously is music. We all like to, get our different pump up tunes going. What sort of music guy are you? Because I'll warn you if you don't know already, your room is a big country room. Big
Yeah.
country room. Do you fall into that?
Oh yeah. Being from a small town in the country in Elmont, big country guy. So yeah, I'm a big Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen guy. So yeah, that's probably before games I might have a little rap. It depends how I'm feeling, but I am a big country guy.
You'll fit right in. Zach Bryan might be the most popular guy that gets mentioned on this show.
Oh yeah.
On that note, NHL teams are starting to let guys do this, and I wonder if you were allowed to pick a goal song, what would you maybe rock with?
The guys and I were actually talking about this in the room today, but I think a good country one would be Red Solo Cup.
Wow.
Feel like that would get the fans going. I think that would be a good one.
That's a good party song. That's a
Yeah.
good goal song. There you go. You didn't have to think about that one very hard.
Yeah, I thought that was a
No,
good one.
that's a beauty. We've had some interesting answers on here, and that's a good one. Red Solo Cup. I think we should push to get that playing when Carter
Yeah,
Stevens
we should.
scores.
Yeah, I'd love
Absolutely,
to hear
man.
that.
I wonder as well, just about your aspirations this year. Obviously, you're coming into this league; it's the best junior league in the world, and you're a young kid coming in with a lot of pedigree. Do you have any goals that you set out for yourself before a season like this, where it's a big jump up and you're going to get a lot of great experience and play with some great teammates? Do you have any like preset goals in your mind, something you'd like to achieve for the season?
Uh, yeah, I'd probably just want to learn as much as I can from, like you said, like guys like Jet Luchenko and the new coaches we have, and try to play as many games as I can. I know it's a long season, so hopefully I can play as many games as I can and just learn the little things that makes you a better player. And I think that'll help a lot going into my draft season next year.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I got to ask as well before we let you go. You're going to be in for some bus trips. There's some pretty
Yeah.
lengthy ones in this league. I wonder, and I'm sure you've ridden the bus numerous times throughout your career. I wonder, are you like a big Netflix guy on the bus? Are there any shows or movies that are kind of go-tos for you when you're traveling?
Uh, the boys may find it a little annoying sometimes, but I'm a big chat guy on the bus. I just like to chat with everyone. Maybe a nap here and there, but I'm not really on my phone too much. Not maybe when we go for a long trip to the Sioux, I might download a movie or two, but nothing particular.
Do you got any favorite sports movies over the years?
I guess the classic I'd say Miracle, but I do like a good Sandlot. That's a good one
Oh,
too.
you're killing me, Smalls. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
an all-time one. That's a Miracle's a great one too.
Oh yeah.
Well, Carter, we're really excited to have you in the Royal City. Everybody's fired up to see what you can do. Congratulations on making it to the OHL, and we're looking forward to see what you can do this season, my friend. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the season. I can't wait for it to start here on Friday.
Absolutely. It's going to be a blast. Hey, if you guys want to come down and see Carter Stevens in the Guelph Storm this year, remember, get your tickets on the team website, visit the box office at the Sleeman Center. Remember, you can find this show on the team website and all your favorite podcast apps. We'll be back next week with more Eye of the Storm.